You are interpreting the following for either a monolingual ASL user or a deaf consumer who prefers transliteration. Warm-up. Maricopa County was spending approximately $18 million a year on stray animals, like cats and dogs. Sheriff Joe offered to take the department over, and the county supervisors okayed it. The animal shelters are all now staffed and operated by prisoners. They feed and care for the strays. Every animal in Sheriff Joe's care is taken out and walked twice daily. He now has prisoners who are experts in animal nutrition and behavior. They give great classes for anyone who'd like to adopt an animal. Sheriff Joe has literally taken stray dogs off the street, given them to the care of the prisoners, and had them place in dog shows. Begin interpreting or transliteration. The best part? His budget for the entire department is now under $3 million. I adopted a Weimaraner from Maricopa County Shelter 2 years ago. He was neutered and current on all his shots, in great health, and even had a microchip inserted the day we got him. All of this cost us $78. The prisoners get the benefit of about 28 cents an hour for working, but most would work for free just to be out of their cells for the day. Most of his budget is for utilities, building maintenance, etc. He pays the prisoners out of the fees collected for adopted animals. I have long wondered when the rest of the country would take a look at the way he runs a jail system and copy some of his ideas. Sheriff Joe has a huge farm, donated to the county years ago, where inmates can work, and they grow most of their own fresh vegetables and food, doing all the work and harvesting by hand. He has a pretty good-sized hog farm, which provides meat and fertilizer. It fertilizes the Christmas tree nursery, where prisoners work, and you can buy a living Christmas tree for $6 to $8 for the holidays, and plant it later. We have 6 trees in our yard from the prison. Yep, Sheriff Joe was re-elected last year with 83% of the vote. Now he's in trouble with the ACLU again. He painted all his buses and vehicles with a mural that has a special hotline phone number painted on it, where you can call and report suspected illegal aliens. Immigrations and Customs Enforcement wasn't doing enough in his eyes, so he had 40 deputies trained specifically for enforcing immigration laws started up his hotline and bought 4 new buses just for hauling folks back to the border. He's kind of a get-her-done kind of sheriff. Sheriff Joe keeps getting elected over and over, and here are more reasons why. He created the Tent City Jail. He has jail meals down from 40 cents a serving down to 40 cents a serving, and charges the inmates for them. He stopped smoking and porno magazines in the jails. He took away their weights and cut off all but G movies. He started chain gangs so the inmates could do free work on county and city projects. Then he started chain gangs for women so he wouldn't be sued for discrimination. He took away cable TV until he found out there was a federal court order that required cable TV for jails. So he hooked up the cable TV again and only let in the Disney Channel and the Weather Channel. When asked why the Weather Channel, he replied, "So they will know how hot it's going to be while they're working on my chain gangs." He cut off coffee since it has zero nutritional value. When the inmates complained, he told them, "This isn't the Ritz-Carlton. If you don't like it, don't come back." He bought Newt Gingrich's lecture series on videotape that he pipes into the jails. When asked by a reporter if he had any lecture series by a Democrat, he replied that a Democratic lecture series might explain why a lot of the inmates were in his jails in the first place. When the temperatures were even hotter than usual in Phoenix, about 2,000 inmates were living in a barbed wire surrounded tent encampment at the Maricopa County Jail. They were given permission to strip down to their government-issued pink boxer shorts. Hundreds of men wearing boxers were either curled up on their bunk beds or chatted in the tents, which reached 138 degrees inside. Many were also swathed in wet pink towels as sweat collected on their chest and dripped down to their pink socks. "It feels like we're in a furnace," one inmate complained. "It's inhumane." Joe Arpaio, the tough guy sheriff who created the tent city and long ago started making his prisoners wear pink, eat bologna sandwiches, is not one bit sympathetic. He said that he told all of the inmates, "It's 120 degrees in Iraq, and our soldiers are living in tents too, and they have to wear full battle gear. But they didn't commit any crimes, so shut your mouths." Maybe if all prisons were like this one, there would be a lot less crime and or repeat offenders. Criminals should be punished for their crimes, not live in luxury until it's time for their parole, only to get out and commit another crime so they can get back in to live on taxpayer money and enjoy things taxpayers can't afford to have for themselves.